So I spent $30,000 on NFTs last month. That's a lot of money for me, but it was also the best month I've had financially when it comes to how much my NFTs rose in floor price. I was buying CetsOnCreck in that 5 to 10 range, and I was selling them from 20 to 40. I was buying a ton of Astrals, never selling them. I bought my DeGod. You know, we made some nice plays. I think I turned around 255 SOL into 590 SOL in terms of what I've sold already and what I currently have in floor price. It's not 100x gains, but we'll take a little over 2x on a big play like that. People ask me all the time, what are you buying and why? In this video, I want to tell you exactly what I'm buying and the reasons behind it. So let's get right into the video. So this is gonna be a mix of what I'm buying, why I'm buying it, and projects I think might be undervalued. As always, this is not financial advice. Just because I'm buying something doesn't mean that you should. Make sure you do your own research and only buy projects that you like. First, we gotta talk about the big play. And yeah, I know, Cody, how is DeGods undervalued? So the first thing that I did is I bought my DeGod for 49 SOL. I used about 33 SOL to buy dust to upgrade it into a DeadGod. So all in for about 82 SOL, and now the floor price of a DeadGod is around 250. The floor price of a DeGod is over 190 at 193. So how the hell could these still be undervalued? Are you still buying? Are you just trying to show off that you made a nice pick? DeGods is my conviction play. I'm backing Frank. I have Frank as our guy, our Trojan horse to help us enter into the Ethereum space. We're gonna need the pressure put onto their buyers when they see a project as good as DeGods start putting up numbers on OpenSea.
That to me, where we're at right now is fucking minuscule, and where we all want to take this is to scales that none of us can even perceptualize right now.
I personally don't think that we see a real run on Solana NFTs on OpenSea until we start cracking some leaderboards in terms of daily volume. But I think it's time to start thinking bigger. We're thinking about NFTs in the top of Solana being at that 200, 300 SOL floor price. But what if we compare that to ETH? And I want you to pull up two tweets. Pull up Frank's tweet from last night and my tweet from today talking about comparing the floor prices of DeGods to that, not of, you know, Boryaku Dragon, not SMBs, but let's start comparing them to Cool Cats, Doodles, World of Women, all those ETH projects. You can see that Cool Cats and DeGods are about the same price. We've seen Cool Cats run up to 15, 16. We've seen Doodles at 17, 18. We've seen Mutant Apes at 20, 25. We've seen Bored Apes at 110 ETH. And I'm not saying that DeGods is gonna go to 100 ETH or anything. I'm just saying I think we're ready, we're big enough as a Solana community where we can start pushing the boundaries of what our top projects can look like. Frank's different, man. Like, he came on our podcast, so obviously that's the homie, but this community is even crazier. I'm backing Frank in what his big plans are when it comes to Dust, when it comes to expanding the team, expanding the community. And if we want to talk about Dust for just 1 second, which I know Frank doesn't like to because one Dust equals one Dust, but some people do turn their Dust that they get. Just for an FYI, if you stake your DeGod, you get 10 Dust per day. If you stake your DeadGod, you get 30 Dust per day. And as a DeadGod holder, you're making about $175 USD per day just by staking your DeadGod. I just think that with this blue chip, we have the potential of a real run still, even at this higher price. I'm not saying get in right now at 200. They might be able to trace back depending on what happens with Dust in the future, depending on what happens when all these DeadGods are already transferred over. So we're gonna see. It's not something that I'm saying go buy them right now, but this is my conviction play. And since we're comparing DeGods to Cool Cats or Gutter Cat Gang, all these ETH projects, do me a favor and smash the like button if you think that Solana NFTs greater than Ethereum NFTs, or you just like the Solana NFT space better. Speaking of some of the top projects, not just the top projects, some of the top project builders in the space, I can't have an undervalued list, especially when I just talked about a very high price project. Why don't I give you a little bit of balance? Let me give you a cheaper entry point, something under 3 SOL, if that sounds fair. Let's talk about the Citizens by Solsteads. Let's not talk specifically about the Citizens or the Solsteads because they're technically two separate projects under one entity, but let's talk about their ecosystem, but let's more so talk about Soulport Tom. Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Tom. So Citizens are the second drop from their collection, right? So we have the Citizens and we have the Solsteads. The Solsteads are like the houses, the metaverse, land play. The Citizens are like the avatars that are gonna be used within this metaverse/game. And everyone that doesn't know who Soulport Tom is, he's who I have multiple times referred to as the best builder in the Solana NFT space. He is the founder, not the founder, but he's now the owner of Teo Robotics. The reason I say he's not the founder is because he is actually a derug master. He acquired Teo through derugging it, and now basically anytime a Solana NFT rugs, everybody in that community goes, Tom, please help us, please derug our project. He has to say no to hundreds of projects every single week, so that's why I think this means a lot that he decided that Solsteads and Citizens were worth taking over and he bought that project. Tom's big plan is to use this as the metaverse play for Teo. And obviously Teo Robotics is one of the biggest projects in the space with, a couple hundred floor price. This acquisition only happened about 2 weeks ago at the end of March. As soon as the news hits, this floor price went from about 1 to 3 for the Citizens. And they've been holding strong, but there's a reason that I want to be talking about this video now on April 12th. But more on that in just a few seconds. Let's explain the play. First, they have Citizens, they have the Solsteads, we have the Teo Robotics. Tom knew that Teo needed to get involved in the metaverse, have a land play, something like that, regardless for his community. So instead of trying to create a 3D metaverse himself, he thought what the Solsteads were building was worthy enough to buy and use as part of his plan. And he's gonna basically reverse engineer this shit, right? He's gonna have a fun game. They're creating a cool metaverse game that people wanna go and join. And then they're gonna add in some social features, make it a little bit more social after that. The cool part is he's gonna integrate this with Teo, which is a huge community of diamond handers that have heavy bags. Tom even said that part of Teo's 2.0 roadmap will be linked to the scrapyard inside the Stead world. The reason I wanna talk about them right now today and get them on your radar as soon as I can. So Citizens are just under 3 right now, seeing about 2.9 sold floor price. But Tom had said that he's gonna have a big announcement, a big trailer to show us of what he's building on April 10th. But the thing is, it's April 12th and we still haven't seen that. So I'm thinking that this could come as early as this week, the announcement might be a few days late, but I wanna see if that really moves the price. And if so, I'm gonna be trying to buy 1 or 2, I think personally, not financial advice, do whatever you gotta do, under 3. And if it sells the news, like if it sells off heavy, that's fine, I'll just have another entry point. And if it pumps, okay, at least I bought 1 or 2 before the pump. So you can basically get involved with a Soulport Tom, aka one of the best builders we have projects for under 3 Soul. To me, it makes some sense. I couldn't do this video about what I'm buying without talking about CetsOnCreck. Peblo, if you're watching this, I love you. I know I told you that I bought some of these at 2, I minted 1, and then I bought a rare at 10, and I sold them for 20 and 40. And I was heartbroken. I actually listed the one that I bought for 10, the rare one, at 40 right when I bought it. And I realized as soon as they started pumping, I was like, hold on, let me go delist that, and it already sold. Obviously some great profits. I turned 12 soul into 61 soul on the 2 trades, but I still wanted to be in this community. The reason is this community is absolutely rabid. There's a few things I really like about this play. Number 1 has to be the community that Peblo has created. This persona, like he is an actually badass builder. He keeps coming out with cool different things and innovations every single day. But the way that he's like putting on this facade, this persona of what Peblo is, you just feel like, damn, this dude is a crackhead. He doesn't care about us as holders. Is he gonna rug us? Who knows? I love what he's doing, and other projects literally say to me, we're trying to emulate what CetsOnCreck did with their community. Like he started a whole new meta. The reason that I'm interested at Ket still at this weird price of 36 soul, and let me tell you a little bit about why I think that price is weird. I think that there's a few psychological sticking points when it comes to floor prices. And let me know in the comment section below if you've seen something similar to this and any examples you can give me. I think 5 is a weird floor price. I think 10 sometimes can be a weird floor price. 20 is a sticky floor price, 50 is a sticky floor price, and then 100. Also for the lower tier projects, I see like 2, 2.5, and 3 be a place where they tend to consolidate. Let me just explain some examples. Cody, we saw Kets run from a mint of 2 that fell down to 1.1 and ran all of the most up to 50 in a month, and you think they're undervalued? Kinda. Let's pull up my tweet real quick. I did just rejoin this community. I bought back in at 38 soul. I'm not saying that's the number for you, and I'll explain why. Let's look at a few examples. Let's talk about Best Buds, Solana Money Boys, right? Solana Money Boys ran from 10 to 20 to 29, 30, and then pulled back to 20, back to 15. Now they're in that weird 10 to 15 range right now. Best Buds did the same thing. They ran from 5 to 10 to 20 for the most part. That's where they sat at for a little bit. A good portion of the big wall was at 20. A few ran up to 25, 29, and they sold off pretty heavy after that. One that we were saying actually fit this exact bill last week was OG Italians. They were sitting just under 5, and I said 5 is a weird point. Either projects normally run up big or kind of stagnate back to 4, 3, 2.5 range, because 5 normally projects don't just sit at that long unless you're desperate. And Italians, as you can see, ran up over 10. All these numbers actually have a point. My point is that Kets ran up to almost 50, like 48, 49, but couldn't break through that 50 wall, and they pulled back to 40. Now they're in a weird range at 36. Like this is not a point where people normally consolidate at. Another great example just recently was Soul Gods was sitting at that 20 range for a long time and just flew up to 50. They didn't go to 30, they didn't go to 40, they went to 50, and they consolidated right around that 50 mark. Cats have not only shown that they have the ability to reach 50 for a floor price, they have one of the best communities I've ever seen, whether it's ETH or Solana NFTs. And I think the art is sick. When people used to ask me, what's the utility behind Cats? Why are they pumping? I used to tell them the utility is that they're a vibe. So with all that being said, is I think that these can fall even further. Even though I just bought one at 38, I do think that 36 is a weird range. They should be closer to like 28, 25 of where I want to be actually buying these. Even if they fall down to 20, I don't know if they can can fall that hard, but that would be ideal of where I'd be picking these up, because I do think that these should be back at 50 at some point. I just wanted to put these on your radar, kind of track the floor price, see if you get some buying pressure at 30, see if buying pressure comes in at 28. They may never go down that low. Maybe the crowd just goes crazy. They go right back to 50 right now. I'm just saying that we could get a pullback and a good entry point on this project. Shout out to Pablo, shout out to the cats, love you. Now I want to talk about two different trends. I want to talk about anime and metaverse. I want to talk about Akari and DegenDojo to start, because I think the anime trend is something that I believe in. When it comes to NFTs, when it comes to anime, no one does a better job at art. No one does a better job at storytelling. It's getting you connected to a specific character, which is what founders want you to do with your NFT. They want you to be deeply connected to that character. I think we need to see that in the Solana side pretty soon. We obviously Azuki absolutely going bonanzas on the ETH side of thing, and I think we're gonna have that kind of run on one of these projects. I don't know if it's gonna be DegenDojo, I don't know if it's gonna be Akari, but pick your favorite anime play or pick your conviction play overall and run with it. These are the two plays that I've used so far with anime, and you tend to see that they run together. Like DegenDojo took off this weekend. I think we gave away 42 whitelist spots to our community, and they're sitting at over 11 soul floor price right now, which means that we just had a 400 soul win for the community, so let's go. But because DegenDojo ran up this weekend, Akari actually also gained floor price of about 2 to 3. The DegenDojo has a crazy community. They said that they wanted to emulate what Pablo did with CetsOnCreck, and I think they've done a great job of that so far. They've rewarded their holders early, already making it so that the floor price is really solid. They've already seen over 20,000 in volume in less than 2 days, and they're winning every poll, which I think is super underrated. A member of Tombstone, I think, do not quote me on this, I just got this from my friend. I saw a note that said, look, Tombstone put out a poll of like, what project are you buying? And even though it was from a Tombstone PFP, DegenDojo still won the poll. So when I make a video about what I'm buying, obviously I have to talk about what trends I'm looking at, and obviously the anime trend is a big one for me. It's something I really enjoy. I don't know if I like DegenDojo at 11. Again, it's a weird number. I want to see it pull back to like 6 or 7. That makes more sense. That's where it has upside still. I can get a 2x still. So I'm not saying these are prices that you need to get in on. It's just projects that I'm looking at to try to find better entry points. So I talked about the anime plays that I'm making. Now let's talk about the metaverse plays that I'm making. And it's not that I don't like Desolates anymore. Of course I like Desolates. I still hold plenty, but I'm just not accumulating more. Let's talk about the project that I actually am buying right now, which is the suites. I actually do want to pull up this trailer, the video that they showed, basically all roadmap 2.0 of the suites. I started buying this project before the announcement on Friday. I knew that something big was going to come. And I said, you know what? I think that these are finally going to pop off. This team is crazy. If they do something really cool, the price is going to pop. I want to buy before the announcement. Typically, that's not how I do things anyway. I like to buy before that, and then I like to sell the news. But this is a long-term play that I'm buying, not just a flip. Sorry for hitting the mic. That might have sounded bad, but I still love you. But even after what I thought was a really cool roadmap 2.0 reveal, the project did drop. I think it was at up to 16 floor price and then went down almost to 10 or 10 and a half, 11 right after the news of the announcement for roadmap 2.0. I still really believe in this project long term. I believe in the team. I thought these sneak peeks were sick. If they can pull off something like this, like, I'm in. The metaverse plays aren't something that's super high on my list of what I think can make money for me right now. Same thing with gaming NFTs. Like, I'm not buying more metaverse plays. I think is a little bit far out, but I don't mind having a few in my pocket and just sitting on them until something happens. And I really can't make a video about what I'm buying without talking about my dad. Shout out to Shaq and the Astrals. A lot of people ask me, everybody knows how much I like Astrals, but they say, Cody, what even would Astrals be if they didn't have Shaq? I guess we'll never know. But we do have Shaq, and he has all his connections, but we also have a very strong team with Brian Viotti, another well-known DJ, and these guys have some of the biggest investors in the space. Not only are they about to have a $3 million LP, but Magic Eden themselves invest in this project over 18 months, like long-term horizon. Like, they think that they have what it takes to be a real project in the space. Some of the biggest investors also do. You know what? Sometimes I just let smarter people than I am lead the path, and I just kind of follow what they're doing. So that's what I'm doing with Magic Eden and these other big investors. All jokes aside, I do love what Shaq's doing in the space. I think that Astrals, obviously we've seen a mega pump, almost to 18 now, but Shaq is becoming a superstar in the Solana NFT space. He's going into other Discords, causing mayhem. He's talking to Frank. There's potential Frank, aka DeGods X Astrals collaborations coming down the pipeline. What the hell is that gonna look like? I don't know. There's literally 2 projects ever. You guys know that I don't stake projects. I like staying liquid, being able to sell them if they pump. I only stake 2 projects. I stake my DeadGod and I stake my Astrals. It's very rare that I trust a project enough to just stake them put them to the side, forget about them, and just let them grow. Astrals is one of the 2 projects, and that's because I believe in the Galaxy token. Speaking of the Galaxy token, a $3 million LP that hasn't even been started yet, bullish. Full disclosure, I do have a bag of Astrals. I love this project. I want it to do well. I want Shaq to do well. I think it's good for the space overall. But after making a video like this, my biggest question was, what am I not buying enough of? Like, what am I missing? I need y'all to give me financial advice in the comment section down below. What project do I need to be looking more at and why? Literally right now, go down to the comment section. On your way down, smash the like button, write a comment, Cody, you need to be getting in on this project because X, Y, and Z. And after you finish, write that comment, watch that video.